Whispers in battle rap circles, online taunts that seemed a bit too intimate, and quiet looks that conveyed stories without uttering a word had all contributed to the tension that had been growing for months. Even though Eazy the block captain was known for his fierce energy and no-sense demeanor, there was something unusual going on beneath the surface right now. Rap was no longer the topic of discussion. It was intimate, and it was felt by everyone in the sector. It all began when Eazy and Remy Ma started spending more time together, initially under the guise of work. She thought he had a gift. She saw Eazy as a key component of her vision. However, the rumors intensified along with a bond. They were too close, according to some. Some reported seeing them together by themselves at strange hours. Others thought that nothing was happening and that the goal was to undermine a black lady who had achieved success. However, one Remy's lifelong lover, Papoose, did not accept the expert explanation. The patient was Papoose. Some may argue that he is too patient. He had been there for Remy through everything: her professional changes, her return, and her jail term. When the industry moved on, he stood by her side, and when others left, he stayed. However, even the most composed men have their breaking points, and loyalty has its limits. Since an altercation backstage at a rap performance in New York, Papoose and Eazy's relationship has changed. The tone was set by the way Papoose looked at Eazy, as if he knew too much, even though no words were spoken. Remy found himself caught in the midst, behind closed doors. Naturally, she denied everything. It was all simply noise to her. She asserted that her and Eazy's main goals were to develop Chrome 23 and transform female combat rap. She may not have realized how deeply invested she had been, but she didn't acknowledge it. The same traits that initially drew Eazy to Papoose were her drive, charisma, and hunger. And the connection was becoming stronger, despite her best efforts to ignore it. Next followed Eazy's now famous Instagram Live, which she performed late on a Friday night. Supporters assumed it would be another Q&A or a freestyle session. Eazy smirked, but said little when someone in the comments section of the session dropped the bomb. Tell the truth. Remy isn't just your business partner. The match was sparked by that sneer. The video became widely shared on blogs, and rumors became firm convictions. Papoose's name was trending within a few hours. It was becoming out of control, and the contempt was obvious. Tensions broke out. Behind the scenes at a Chrome 23 promotional shoot a week later, witnesses said that Papoose had arrived unexpectedly. As soon as he entered the room, the atmosphere changed. Eazy and Remy were in the middle of a talk when Pap drew her aside. Their conversations were calm yet passionate. Eazy watched from a distance, clenching his mouth and crossing his arms. Then, as Pap turned to go, Eazy murmured something under his breath that was loud enough for Pap to hear, but too low for anybody else to hear. Papoose stepped straight up to Eazy after turning around. Remy had to physically step between the two men, who were inches apart. The situation was temporarily diffused. Word quickly got out. Industry insiders realized that words alone would not suffice. An excessive amount of pride, history, and feeling. Now, this went beyond rap. The disdain that Eazy began to show for his bars only made the situation worse. Eazy shocked the entire crowd with a freestyle at a surprise combat event. In Philadelphia, the lines were obvious, but no names were stated. The audience went crazy. But those who were aware of the backstory felt the blow when he talked about old kings losing their queens and being a better man behind the scenes. It was intimate. Insiders winced, but fans cheered. Eazy was smacking the bear across the face, not just prodding it. Then came the video from the phone, shaky and grainy, but definitely authentic. Eazy was seen leaving a private club with his shirt partially unbuttoned, and Remy Ma followed a few minutes later. Their body language was telling, even though they weren't holding hands. She was grinning. He was at ease. Suddenly on the internet, the blogs were insatiable. Everyone was choosing between Team Eazy and Team Pap. Papoose had been silent the entire time. No clapbacks, no interviews, no tweets. Nothing but quiet. However, quiet, particularly from a man who feels like he's losing. Everything can be fatal. Pap has been in this business long enough to see how it operates, how lust replaces love, how respect degenerates into derision, and how loyalty is exchanged for celebrity. He wasn't merely observing his marriage fall apart. He was observing it in public, on every blog post and every timeline. Both males were tense at this point. The entire situation would blow up with a single incorrect remark or action. And it happened at last outside a private industry conference taking place in a low-key lounge in Brooklyn. Remy was in the networking area, avoid being noticed. Eazy parked a few blocks away and arrived late. Earlier that day, Pap had received word that they would both be present. He simply nodded and replied, "I'll be there too," without saying anything further. There was a lot of enthusiasm outside the arena. With his arms crossed and his hood up, Pap was leaning against a black SUV, his expression icy. Head down and, intent, Eazy strolled up the sidewalk by himself. They looked at each other. They both didn't blink. They didn't both slow down. The hip-hop world would be eternally altered, rattled, and bled by what transpired next. And this was only the start. Anticipation permeated the air outside the Brooklyn lounge. As two men stood locked in a silent stare that expressed more than words could, the sounds of the city receded into the distance. Pap remained still. Eazy didn't recoil. For them alone, it seemed as though time had stopped. Under flickering streetlights and the distant bass of a DJ blasting songs no one would remember after tonight, the tension that had been building for months was ready to explode on a chilly concrete sidewalk. Eazy took slow, deliberate steps forward while keeping his gaze fixed on Papoose. He had stopped grinning. He'd lost the arrogant smirks and self-assured swagger he displayed online. They were replaced with a man who lacked patience and had too much to prove. Despite his misread body language, Papoose's tight shoulders spoke loud enough as he pushed off the SUV. Was not supposed to be a dialogue. Not now. Do you find this amusing? Pap spoke in a steady, low voice. Eazy first remained silent. He simply cocked his head as if assessing a rival rather than the spouse of his mentor. Eazy eventually said, "I think what's funny is how you let your girl walk away without even realizing." In addition to his bars, Eazy the block captain's name was now permanently inscribed in battle rap history for the night he let his feelings escalate into violence. For the battle that broke and bloodied Papoose. And for the triangle that destroyed the reputation of one of the most prominent couples in hip-hop. Remy Ma had attempted to construct something novel, but she almost lost everything in the process. Ultimately, such is the cost of playing with fire in a game where loyalty is uncommon and the truth almost always surfaces. The streets are still buzzing about this story, which is far from ended. The whole hip-hop community is in shock at the turmoil involving Remy Ma, Eazy the block captain, and Papoose, from loyalty to treachery, from battle rap to violence. We would like to hear from you now, though. Was Papoose clinging to something that had already been taken? Or was Eazy acting inappropriately? Is Remy Ma simply torn between two strong men in a game of hazy boundaries? Or did she cross the line? Don't hesitate to share your opinions in the comments section below. Which side do you support and why? Please remember to subscribe to the channel for exclusive updates, unvarnished truths. Add every twist as this story develops, and make sure to like this video if you want more in-depth analyses like this one. To ensure you don't miss anything, turn on that bell. This is a real-time societal movement, not just a rumor. Participate in the discussion. Take part in the movement. And keep it sealed here, where the authentic stories are found. Here at Celeb Tycoon, truth and drama collide.